Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is January 24th, 2025, and I have an injury update for you in regards to two Barcelona players. Also, Barcelona could make some money as Faye could be on the move once again. And finally, La Masia has lost a promising midfielder. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin this video with a injury update, and this time it's in regards to Dani Olmo, because as you know, Dani Olmo suffered a calf strain, and per reports he's set to miss a total of 10 days, and as such Dani Olmo has missed the Champions League match at Benfica, and he is also set to miss the upcoming match this weekend against Valencia. Given that the player has not trained with his team, so it's for sure he's going to miss the match against Valencia. And the reports are now stating that Dani Olmo could be back for the match against Alaves, which will take place on February 2nd. Now, there is one more match in between the Valencia match and Alaves, which is, of course, the Champions League match, the final match of the group stages against Atalanta on January 29th. And Dani Olmo has not been completely ruled out of that match, but most likely Barcelona are not going to look to rush Dani Olmo back, especially given his history with injuries. So it's most likely looking like Dani Olmo will be back against Alaves, so that means he will miss both matches against Valencia this weekend and against Atalanta midweek. Now, speaking of injuries and speaking of Danis, we do have bad news because another Dani has been injured. And this time is Dani Rodriguez, the Barca Athletic attacker who has suffered another hamstring injury that will see him out between 8 to 10 weeks, which is a huge blow for the player because ever since he came back from his previous hamstring injury, Dani Rodriguez suffered a hamstring injury that saw him out for several months. He came back towards the end of last year, I think around November, and since he came back, he was doing really well, and he was tipped to be eventually promoted or break through the first team, but now he has suffered yet another hamstring injury that will see him out for another 8 to 10 weeks, so it's not looking good for Dani Rodriguez. Hopefully he can overcome this injury, and hopefully he can overcome his long strains of injury, because he has been an injury-prone player, but hopefully he can outgrow that, and maybe we can see him play some minutes or at least train with the first team, because he does look like a pretty promising winger in a team that is desperately in need of proper wingers. Now, the next bit of news is in regards to a former Barca Athletic player, Faye. But before we discuss Faye, I would like to remind you to please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. All this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Goal Kits, Give Back, or Fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. If you click on them, you get access to some pretty cool deals and offers, and you would also be supporting the channel. Anyways, let's get back to the news, because we do have to talk about Faye, because Barcelona could earn a good amount or a decent amount of money, because he could be on the move once again. Now, Barcelona offloaded the former Barca Athletic player to Rennes this past summer for around 10.3 million euros. And it looks like Faye has caught the attention of Bayer Leverkusen, who have made contact with Rennes because they are interested in Faye as their primary candidate to reinforce their team. Now, it's reported that Bayer Leverkusen do have more senior options on their list of possible reinforcements. However, they could prioritize Faye over those more senior options, given his young age of 20 years old and given his high ceiling. Now, why is this relevant to Barcelona? It's relevant because Barcelona still own 30% of the rights of the player, and given that his contract extends with Rennes until 2028, and given that Rennes are going to look to make that 10.3 million euros back, if Rennes sell him, it's most likely going to be more than 10 million, and whatever they sell him for, if they agree to sell him, then Barcelona could earn 30% of that, which I think is a pretty good operation. And I'm liking these players who Barcelona offload when they're young with a percentage of a percentage of the rights, because, when these players are young and they move to other teams where they're going to get more minutes, their value is only going to go up, or most likely going to go up. So not only do you get your initial transfer fee, but you get a percentage of that increased value down the road. And we're seeing, that's becoming helpful for the club. And here's another example of a Barcelona could make money off a player they already offloaded. Now, Mika Faye so far has only had 9 appearances in Ligue 1. He hasn't fully fit in Rennes. However, Bayer Leverkusen believe that he'll be a good fit at their team. So, hey, if they want to sign him, they want to pay a good amount of money, and Barcelona can make 30% of that, I am all for it. And now on to the next bit of news, and this news is not as good as the previous one, but it's in regards to a midfielder that La Masia just lost, and it's no other than Manu Bila. Now, Manu Bila is an 18-year-old midfielder who joined Barcelona in 2020 from Cornellà, and ever since he joined the club, he's seen a steady rise through the ranks. And in fact, Xavi Hernandez called him up to several trainings during last season. And most recently, Manu Bila was promoted to the Juvenil A. However, he did not get many opportunities under Juvenil A coach Giuliano Belletti. He only had 3 starts, and in fact, he was never called up, or he never started or played any minutes in the UEFA Youth Champions League, or I think it's called UEFA Youth League. And there's no plans for him to be called up under Albert Sanchez and Barca Athletic, and therefore the player decided to leave. And with his contract expiring during this summer, meaning that he could end up leaving as a free agent this summer, of course, Barcelona did not stand in the way of the player leaving Barcelona and joining Castellón in a lower division. So, definitely a loss, because he was looking like a promising midfielder, but not a huge loss by any means. He wasn't, the next Cazador, the next Bernal, and given how stacked the first team is with midfielders, not a huge loss, but there's the news, another youngster leaving the club. Now, speaking of free agents, we will end this video with the news that Joshua Kimmich, someone at Barcelona were after for quite some time, could be joining Real Madrid. Now, Joshua Kimmich is yet to renew with Bayern Munich, and he does prioritize his renewal with Bayern Munich. But in case that doesn't happen, it's reported that the most attractive or the most appealing option for Joshua Kimmich would be Real Madrid. And in fact, it's being reported that Joshua Kimmich has already been in contact with Real Madrid, because as you might recall, or maybe you don't know this, but Joshua Kimmich doesn't have an official agent, so he does all the negotiations on behalf of himself. And again, he prioritizes staying at Bayern, but if that doesn't happen, the most appealing option would be Real Madrid, which who are in desperate need for someone in the position of Joshua Kimmich. So definitely an interesting twist in events. We went from talking about Kimmich being linked to Barcelona, now he's being linked to Madrid. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did do the podcast earlier today. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.